Wait, so for today's deep dive, we're going to be looking at two cases um, and how they were solved sort of against the odds. The first one takes us back to a time, before DNA testing was as sophisticated as it is today.
Right.
So we're going back to 1992.
Okay.
And specifically to Agawam, Massachusetts. A small town, peaceful, quiet, the kind of place you wouldn't expect something terrible to happen. Just a few days before Easter, a young teacher's aide, Lisa Zakert, was working the evening shift at a card and gift shop.
Right.
And she vanished.
Yeah, and they found the shop unlocked.
Right, her purse and coat were still there.
Lights were on, music playing. It was like frozen in time, but there were signs of a struggle in the back room.
Oh.
Blood spatter, forced exit, pointed towards something more sinister than just a disappearance.
And tragically, a few days later, her body was found.
Yeah.
She'd been stabbed multiple times.
It's heartbreaking. And what they found out about her personality, like she was artistic, bubbly, adored by her students, just someone who brought light and joy, to those around her.
It's hard to imagine, what her family and friends must have gone through.
Right.
And the entire community, really.
Yeah.
Because it really does affect everybody.
It does. It does.
And in this case, there's a what if that kind of hangs over the whole story.
Yeah.
Gary Schar's ex-wife.
Right.
Joyce.
Yes.
She actually contacted police back in 1993.
Right.
So about a year after the murder, with concerns about her ex-husband's behavior.
Oh, wow.
And she had noticed some things, like his intense interest in the case. Coming home late the night of the murder with cuts on his hands, he even gave her a music box.
Wow.
Similar to the ones they sold at the gift shop.
Oh, my gosh.
And, back then especially, those concerns were kind of dismissed.
Oh, I bet.
As, just bitterness over a contentious divorce and custody battle.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to think that if they had listened to her, they might have had their guy.
Right.
So fast forward to 2016.
Okay.
DNA technology has advanced significantly.
Right.
And a new detective took over Lisa's case.
Okay.
And was able to use a new technique called DNA phenotyping.
Right.
Which basically allowed them to create a composite sketch based on the DNA.
Wow.
So they looked at specific genetic markers that could predict ancestry, hair color, eye color, even facial features.
Really? So it's like creating a sketch from the DNA.
Exactly.
Wow.
So they have this composite.
Yeah.
They re-examined the case files, and it led them to a list of potential suspects. And guess who's at the top of the list?
Oh, no, I bet it's
Gary Schara.
Gary Schara.
That's right. So in 2017, they went to his home to get a DNA sample, but he was gone.
Oh.
They left word with his roommate, but instead of turning himself in, Gary went to his girlfriend's house.
All right.
And left her 3 letters.
Huh.
One to her, one to Will, and one an apology to Lisa Zakert's family. He was confessing.
Oh, my gosh.
He admitted to abducting, raping, and murdering Lisa.
Yeah.
Said he hadn't meant to kill her. Things just spiraled out of control.
Right. Right.
But, there's like he knew they were closing in on him. And it seems like he was either making a run for it or going to take his own life.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And that's what he tried to do. He overdosed on ibuprofen, but then he changed his mind and went to a hospital in Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
So the police were able to track him down there. They got a DNA sample from his toothbrush.
Okay.
And it matched the evidence from Lisa's body.
Wow. So after 25 years, justice was finally served.
Yeah.
It's incredible and incredibly sad at the same time.
Yeah.
That it took so long and that Joyce, who had fought so hard for the truth to come out, didn't live to see it.
Yeah, it's really bittersweet, isn't it? Like you said, the impact of these cases, it goes beyond just the victim and their families.
Right.
You get the detectives, the communities, everybody.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that these stories aren't just headlines or, podcasts.
Right.
These are real lives.
Yeah.
Real people grappling with unimaginable loss.
Absolutely. And speaking of grappling with the unimaginable, let's switch gears now to a story that's almost too audacious to believe. The Antwerp diamond heist.
Okay.
A tale of meticulous planning, daring execution, and a twist of fate. That's
okay.
Well, you'll see.
All right, I'm intrigued. Set the scene for us. Where are we, when are we, and who are we dealing with in this diamond-studded drama?
All right, so we're in Antwerp, Belgium.
Okay.
Early 2000s, heart of the global diamond trade.
Really?
And at the center of it all is Leonardo Notarbartolo.
Okay.
Charming, ambitious Italian thief.
Right.
He leads this group called the School of Turin.
Right.
Skilled criminals. They operated under the cover of legitimate businesses, and they had their sights set on the ultimate prize, the Antwerp World Diamond Set.
Yeah, Antwerp World Diamond Set. It's got to have, like, the most intense security.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking magnetic sensors, seismic detectors, motion detectors, heat sensors, a vault door that weighs 3 tons, with a combination lock that has millions of possible combinations, and a key that was supposed to be unduplicatable.
So basically Mission Impossible.
Pretty much. But that's where Leonardo's meticulous planning comes in.
Okay.
He spent 2 years studying the Diamond District.
Wow.
Observing police patrols, security routines. He even used hidden cameras to map out the place. He rented an office in the Diamond Center itself.
Wow.
To gain legitimate access and to get a safe deposit box within the very vault he planned to rob.
So this is not just some smash and grab.
No.
It's like carefully orchestrated.
This is chess against one of the most secure systems in the world.
Okay, so what was the weakness? How did they find a way in?
So, get this. They found a single door in the entire building that wasn't covered by a security camera and didn't require an ID badge.
In a place like that.
I know.
Seems almost too good to be true.
It does, but that was their entry point.
Okay.
They're way past the first hurdle.
But they still had to get through that vault.
Oh, yeah, that massive vault door, the combination lock.
Right.
Well, Leonardo never revealed how they bypassed it, but experts think they might have used a tiny camera to record the guards entering the code.
Okay, so they got the code. What about the key?
Well, turns out even the most sophisticated security measures can be undone by human error.
Oh, no.
A few days before the heist, one of Leonardo's crew snuck into a utility closet where, for some reason, the security guards were keeping the vault key.
You're kidding, right?
Yep.
They just left it lying around.
Apparently so.
It's almost comical given how secure everything else was.
I know, right? It's this clash between meticulous planning and unbelievable luck.
Right. So they've got the key. They bypass the code. What happens next?
Okay, so they still had to disable all the sensors inside the vault. The light, heat, and motion sensors. And for that, they used tape over the light sensor and hairspray.
Hairspray.
To disable the heat and motion detectors.
Wow.
Resourceful, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can achieve with ingenuity and a can of hairspray.
That's incredible. So they get the sensors disabled. I mean, they're just in the vault now.
They used a custom-made tool to pop open the safe deposit boxes.
Wow.
One by one. Diamonds, jewelry, cash. Estimates vary, but it's believed to be upwards of $100 million.
$100 million. That's insane.
It is.
But they got away with it, right? I mean, with all this...
Well, that's where the story takes another turn.
Oh.
Remember that clash between meticulous planning and luck?
Yeah.
Well, luck wasn't on their side this time.
Okay, what happened?
So they planned to burn all the evidence on their way back to Italy.
Okay.
But one of the crew members, Speedy, panicked. He thought someone was coming, so he started tossing everything out of the car into the woods. Videotapes, receipts, tools.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, even diamonds scattered in the mud.
All that planning, and they littered the forest with evidence. It's hard to believe.
I know, right? But that's the reality of crime. Even the most brilliant minds can be undone by human error.
I mean, diamonds in the woods, that's not exactly subtle.
You would think so, right? But it gets even weirder. So this guy, August Van Camp, a 59-year-old retiree who lived near where Speedy had his meltdown.
Okay.
He loved weasels. Yeah. He kept them as pets, built these elaborate habitats for them.
Okay.
And he was known to call the police whenever he found litter on his property.
What?
He was worried it would harm his weasels.
Right.
So on this particular day, August's out for his walk, and he stumbles upon Speedy's discarded treasure trove. Videotapes, receipts, tools, even a few diamonds in the mud.
Wow.
So he calls the police, like he always does, complaining about people dumping trash and endangering his weasels.
I bet the police were not expecting to find evidence for a major diamond heist.
Not at all. They kind of brushed him off at first.
Yeah.
But August insisted. He mentioned something about videotapes in Diamond Center being written on some documents.
Okay.
And that's when the officers realized this wasn't just some random litter.
Wow. Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
I know, right? So among the items was an invoice with Leonardo's name and business info on it.
So they got him.
They did. They arrested him when he came back to Antwerp, thinking he could keep up his cover. They also tracked down 3 of his accomplices through the stuff found in the woods. Oh, and get this. A half-eaten salami sandwich also played a role.
A salami sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helped them track down one of the guys.
It's unbelievable. So they're all in jail now?
Yep. Leonardo got 10 years, but he was paroled after just 4.
Wow. So all that planning, all that effort.
Yeah.
And it was a panicked accomplice in a salami sandwich that brought them down. It just goes to show you, even the best laid plans, you know?
Yeah. It's incredible.
Well, there's so one big question. What happened to all the loot?
Right, the missing diamonds.
Yeah, most of it was never recovered.
What's the theory? Did they sell them off, hide them? Or did Speedy chuck them in the woods too?
Well, some experts think they were recut and sold back into the market.
Making them untraceable.
Exactly. Others think they're hidden away somewhere.
Okay, what about Leonardo? What's his story?
Oh, he claims that the whole thing was an insurance scam.
Right, that he was just a pawn for some diamond dealers.
Yeah. He says the dealers emptied their own safe deposit boxes before the heist, and that his crew only got away with a small amount, which was then stolen from them.
So who knows what the truth is?
It's a mystery. The missing surveillance tapes from the Diamond Center might have some answers.
Yeah, but those are gone. Gone.
Maybe providing nesting material for August's weasels.
So we end up with more questions than answers.
It seems like it was Leonardo a mastermind or just a pawn. Where are the diamonds? And what secrets are those weasels hiding?
Well, I guess some mysteries are meant to stay unsolved.
Maybe. But it's what makes these stories so fascinating.
Absolutely. And it shows us that even those little details, the things we might overlook, can be the key to the whole thing.
Exactly. Whether it's a concerned ex-wife or a weasel-loving retiree, you never know what detail will crack the case.
It's amazing.
So the next time you think something's insignificant, remember Lisa's story, remember the Antwerp diamond heist.
And those weasels.
Sometimes those small things can unlock the biggest mysteries.
And on that note, that's a wrap for our deep dive today. We went from a small-town murder to one of the biggest diamond heists in history.
It's been a wild ride.
Definitely. We looked at the complexities of these cases, the flaws in security, and the fact that the truth, no matter how long it takes, often finds a way to come out.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep your eyes open for those seemingly insignificant details.
You never know where they might lead you.